Hi, G2.
Hey, we're back. So, been about a week or so. And, what do you want to talk about?
Talk about more about what we've been talking about, I guess.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, like we were talking earlier, you're coming to, I think, that place in your life when maybe you're starting to think about your future and what you want to do, what you want to be, and, thoughts about, I would like to be successful. And maybe starting to look at what are traits of effective or successful people. And one of the things that came to mind for me was thinking about communication. Because I think people that are good communicators tend to be successful because they're able to communicate their ideas, wants, needs, desires to other people, and are effective at it in a way that helps not only you or that person, but the other person as well. So I think communication is important. What when you think of communication, does any thought come to mind? Like, what is it?
Talking to people and texting, calling people.
Yeah, absolutely. Texting, talking, telephone, writing, email, speaking directly, public speaking. If you have a job or even in school, have you had to do many class presentations yet?
You've done some.
Yeah. So being able to do that, and it's not always comfortable for everyone to get up in front of a group and speak, but having basic skills to be able to do that and effectively, I think, is important. One of the things, when you think of types of communication, do you think of anything in particular? Are there different kinds?
Yeah, like auditory, kind of like.
You hear? So listening to people. Okay, speaking, yes. And I was even thinking in terms of there's something even more basic than that, and that's nonverbal communication. So there's verbal communication, which is me speaking in anything related, I think, to the use of words. And then nonverbal, which would be the other piece. And any idea, like if you think of nonverbal communication, does anything come to mind?
Yeah, body language.
Yeah. What is body language?
Like waving at people, sign language.
Yeah. And even there are what they call body language experts that it's interesting. They will look at a video of, say, a world figure or political figure, look at their body language and try to intuit what they're feeling. Does their feeling match their words? Because I think ultimately that's what people want, is that sincerity and integrity. Your words match your unconscious body language. So if I say, I always have trouble with this because it's so counterintuitive for me. If I say no, that's really confusing, right? And I once had somebody that kept telling me, I'm not angry. And it appeared that their tone of voice and their hands suggested that they were angry, and they just really didn't want to admit it. So yes, I think nonverbal body language, that's important. Eye contact. You've been really good with eye contact. That's a good smile too. Eye contact is important because I think it helps people know you're listening. It helps people feel important. I think being looked at and considered and gazed upon is a really good skill. So eye contact, limbs, what you do with your hands. You can gesture, and even some gestures. Obviously, shaking your fist at somebody communicates something. Even something like they talk about pointing is kind of an aggressive kind of thing. So maybe avoiding those kinds of things, using an open posture, and avoiding closed postures. Because this is like if you're talking to me, I'm doing this, especially if I don't seem very open. So being aware of that in yourself. And there's even something that they teach us about when you're showing interest in somebody, even maybe just leaning forward a little bit. So you're making good, not riveting eye contact, because if you like really drill in on somebody, it can be really kind of aggressive and threatening. But kind of good eye contact, leaning forward, relaxed face, smile. absolutely. Posture, yep. And this helps us communicate feelings, emotions, things like respect. You're open and friendly, interested, empathy, agreement, all of those kinds of things. Facial expression is part of this. So smile in a relaxed kind of way. You don't have to be like concern, yes. Voice tone. Sometimes that's hard to nail. Gauging your voice and how loud you speak for the situation. So if you're speaking in a public setting, projecting so people can hear you, or if you're like you and I don't have to use a very loud voice. You have good hearing. And now, it's funny because sometimes when I work with people who are hard of hearing, I have to raise my voice. And it's difficult to raise the volume of your voice and not raise the pitch. Because when you raise your pitch, it sounds like you're angry. And kind of had this joke with some of the people with that have hearing impairments, that it's like I say, can I speak to you more loudly? And they say yes. And I said, okay, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just speaking more loudly, because it's easy to misinterpret that. Because I don't know about you, I don't like to be yelled at. And I'm very sensitive to that. So the loudness of your voice, speaking up, being confident, but not overly so. Enunciation, speaking clearly, so that people can understand you. And I would suspect at school you have teachers that are probably different about this in some ways. Some teachers, like if you don't look at them, or you don't speak up, or you don't, somehow they interpret it as being, you know what the word insolent means? Insolent, rebellious, not cooperative, smart aleck. And I don't read you that way. And so just being aware of how you communicate, maybe more often a couple of words instead of just one, and turn taking with that, and that kind of thing. Boy, this is going to be a long one. Thoughts? Did I say anything you think is weird? Any questions or anything?
Not really.
Okay. Kind of talked at you a lot. I'm sorry about that.
That's fine.
So, all right, I guess we're out. So communication, I think it's really important. Next time we'll talk about maybe the verbal aspects of that, and we'll talk about active listening, which is a technique that kind of communicates that I hear you and you're important.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace out.